What is going on in this country? They discharged everybody. Yeah. So there's nobody even in there.
Nobody's in there.
Nobody's in the hospital. How is that possible in a medical pandemic?
That's fake news, that's why.
Fake news.
All money. It is about big pharma. It's about people want to make money and they don't care about lives. Secondly, it's a diabolical plot to destroy humanity. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because how can a person with a heart see people die? You know what? This study that made me start using hydroxychloroquine, go look it up. It was done in 2005 under Anthony Fauci. So Dr. Fauci knows it works. He knows.
Have you spoken to him about it?
Oh, jeez. I've told him to give me a urine sample. Let me check whether he has hydroxychloroquine on board.
What has he said?
I don't know. I'm waiting. I'll take the urine
sample.
sample. Yes, I want his urine sample. You know why? Because he's probably taking it. That's why he goes to the stadium and doesn't wear a mask. I don't wear a mask because I have hydroxychloroquine on board. If you don't...
How often do you take it?
Once every 2 weeks. It's not a big deal. It's so easy. Once every 2 weeks. A small pill once every 2 weeks, my brother. People will not get sick. And even if you get sick, they give you one pill twice a day for 5 days with zinc and Zithromax. You will not die. I've had diabetes. You know they say that if you're a diabetic and you get COVID, it's a death sentence? Yes. I've treated many diabetics. So when you hear me talking like this, angry like this, it's because I'm truly angry. Because I don't know why they're letting people die. It works. Okay, listen. Right now, no, I'm a real scientist because I see it every day.
You're a scientist?
I'm a doctor, MD.
Oh, you're a scientist.
But scientists don't see patients. I see patients.
You see patients.
Okay. I've taken care of 350 and counting patients with COVID. Diabetics, to which it's a death sentence. Asthmatics, old people. It's not lost one person. It works.
Okay, so why do you think the country won't use it then?
Big pharma, money. Nobody makes money off a cheap generic drug like hydroxychloroquine.
No, there's more. Look at this. They just keep coming.
Oh, go inside! Get inside! Get inside! Get inside! Get in your house now! Let's go! Light him up! Go inside now! Get in the house!
Get in, get in, get in, get in, get in, get in! Get in!
Oh, God, that hurt. You good?
Are you okay?
Right on the fucking crotch.
Are you okay? You got hit?
I'm good. They're fucked for that, dude. What?
Okay.
We're talking about the Zionist puppets for office. Now, here it is, 2015. They're all out. Boy, they're decking themselves, and you know it's a principle of American politics.
Game over.
All right, y'all. So I'm back. We up here registering people to vote, and I got my brother, man. I've known for a long time. Love this dude to death, man. He's a really good dude, right? So I say, hey, bro, you registered to vote this year? And he's like, yeah, I'm voting. I say, who you voting for? He was like, you already know. I'm like, Trump? He's like, hell no. Hell no. I'm like, bro, are you serious? So he's asking me, he say, Cass, why? Why vote for Trump? Okay, before we get into it, because I'm going to break it down to you. Why are you voting for Biden?
I think he's a better person.
Why?
Because what's going on now in the situation with Trump.
What Trump situation?
What's going on now? Shit just fucked up. I believe he could come in and do a better job.
You really do?
I believe.
What has he done? You know he's been in politics for 47 years.
I understand that.
What has he done in 47 years? What has he done in 47 years?
A lot.
Like what?
I mean, I just believe he'll do better than
Did
Trump.
you know that Biden, in 47 years of politics, has only been a racist, said racist things about you and me, personally, as black people, and made a bill to incarcerate black people with Bill Clinton? The crime bill. Look it up. The man just said, you ain't black unless you vote for him. All right? He also said he didn't want his children going to school in a racial jungle. Didn't want integration. He was for segregation. Also, not only that, he also said that poor kids can be just as bright and just as intelligent as white kids. Meaning that black, brown, red, yellow are poor. When he thinks poor, he doesn't think white at all. He's thinking about you and me. The dude ain't did nothing but hurt black people. And then his running mate, Kamala Harris, she's got a career of locking up black people. A career. Now, let's move over to Trump. You asked me why I'm voting for Trump. Before Trump was the president, did not everybody love him? In their music videos, rap videos, all the magazines. He got awards from black communities in the NAACP. Everybody loved him. But then when he came to president, they said he's a racist. Why? I'm going to tell you why. Because when he came into politics, he started what he said, drain the swamp. He started taking out all the, not just politicians, the evil, corrupt politicians. Fired them, took them out, made them go away, and put in his people. Did you know that since he's been president, the economy has been better than it ever been? Unemployment at an all-time low. More jobs created than ever before. He stopped making us importer and made us an exporter. To me, that means we make more money. People talk about the wall that he wanted to build over there in Mexico. Do you know why he wanted to build the wall? And remember, they said that he was racist because he said that my brothers and sisters that's Mexican is murderers and rapists and stuff, right? That's not what he said. If you listen to the clip, he said that the MS-13, the gang, are rapists and murderers, not Mexicans. Not Mexicans. But they twisted that to make everybody around us believe that he's a racist. Okay? Then they say, make America great again. What does he mean? When was America great? When you talk about make America great again, what he means is make America, like what I just said, an exporter again. Have jobs again. Have people believe in the American dream again, that they want to come to this country and they know that they're going to make it. Had nothing to do with race. All right? Not only that, the man gave funding for the next 10 years. This has never been done. For historic black colleges and universities, the HBCUs. Barack Obama didn't even do that. He did prison reform, meaning which directly affects us as black people because we fill up the prisons. You feel me? He said, if you're a nonviolent offender and it's just like drugs or something and you ain't kill nobody or pull a gun on nobody, you can come home, man. There's programs set in place for you to be able to come home. He did everything that he could to show by his actions that he ain't a racist and a damn good president. He did all of that. Yet we still running around here, the people that only watch the news, we're saying, hell no, we voting for Biden because Biden was with Obama or Biden did so much great, but nobody can tell you none of the great that he did. But they could pull up every single thing that he's done to the black community. Specifically, Hillary Clinton called us super predators. Matter of fact, if the man isn't a racist, why did he speak at the KKK members' eulogy and said that he was his hero or inspiration or whatever? So why does he deserve your vote and not the man who's actually showing you that he cares about you? The president that's done more for the hood, black community, Hispanic community than any other president since Lincoln. You feel me? Why would you know me, bro? I'm a hood nigga. You know me. So why would I be telling you that? Bill Clinton's the one that did that crime bill, but they pushed it. Exactly. He knows his stuff. He know his stuff.
See, like Trump, he gonna bring the jobs back. Though.
He been bringing them back, and that's why they did this coronavirus shit.
Like he say that export. Now we'll be the biggest export instead of China.
Exactly. He brought steel manufacturing, the automobile industry. They said that was dead, and look at us now, booming. They hit us with coronavirus. You notice that when coronavirus hit, they said everybody got to stay in the house. Nobody could go out. But yet, if you're Black Lives Matter or Antifa, you could go out and protest and burn shit down, and nobody's gonna say nothing. But the coronavirus is so bad. We out here standing with masks. You feel me? Why? It's an agenda. So, bro, the reason why I'm having this conversation with you is because it's important. Your vote is very important this year. They've been getting the black vote. You know, Lyndon B. Johnson said that I'm going to have these niggas voting Democrat for the next 200 years. And we do, blindly. Latinos and blacks. We vote Democrat blind as hell. Don't even know why we do. We just do. Did you know that the black people are the ones that started the Republican Party? Did you know that? We were Republicans. They crippled us with welfare, Section 8. They kicked us out the homes, bro. Made the woman look at you and be like, I don't need you. I'll take care by the state. I'll go get food stamps. Which led you to be upset, me to be upset, go out and sell drugs because we're trying to prove to our family that we can provide even though they ain't giving us no jobs. Then we get locked up under that crime bill. And then we're locked up and we're stuck there. That was under Biden. 47 years, bro, in politics, and they did nothing for us. Trump, people have already loved Trump for forever. Why would you want to be the president of the United States when you're already a billionaire? You have every woman that you could possibly want at your feet. You don't need the fame because you got the fame already, right? So what reason would he have to become the president of the United States? Did you know that he's never taken a check since he's been in office?
$1. He has.
$1. Every other check he's donated while being president. He's the only president in history for his net worth to drop, to go down.
By law, he needed to take a I don't want none of their money. So by law, he needed $1.
That's why I'm asking you if you registered to vote, bro, so you can vote for the right person who's going to help us out, man. Who's going to do more for this, not just even us as black people, because it's not about that. We need to even stop calling each other black. We American, bro. Mm-hmm. You feel me? We are American. Straight up. So can you do me a favor? When you come in here with me, I even feed you a slice of pizza. Register to vote. Come kick it with me and my kids for a sec. Make sure you register to vote, and then think about it. Just you know, make sure a little update. Update. All right.
For sure.
Can I count on your vote? I'm out here for a reason, bro. You know I ain't gonna lie to you. I never have. You been my dog. You feel me? You been my dog, bro. You always gonna be my dog. I'm trying to tell you. If you want, I'm gonna give you my new number. I'm trying to tell you, brother. I'm trying to tell you. They the real racists, man. They tell you Trump's racist and can't give you nothing to show that he's a racist. But I can give you everything to show you that he's not. But I can show you clip after clip after clip after clip after clip in its entirety of Biden saying some messed up racist stuff, bro. And then his actions, the bills that he's passed through, he got behind, were racist. Directly targeting you and me. So why the hell would we give him our vote? They think we're stupid. They think because he was with Barack Obama. Why do you think he chose Kamala Harris as his running mate? She wasn't even qualified. They didn't want her in the primary when she was running to be the candidate against Trump. They didn't want her then. So why pick her now? After she called you a racist in the debate. Think about it. Because they think we're stupid. We're going to see a black woman and be like, oh, well, she could be the female Barack Obama. Well, let's vote. That's why. Trump been did a lot. A whole lot. Not just for the hood, bro. Not just for black communities, but for America. Which is what a president is supposed to do. Not single out one or the other because of their color. All of us are American, and that's how he looks at us, is as Americans. Not as niggas. Not as black. Not as none of that. That's why he said what he said. He said, look, what do you got to lose? You've been voting the same way. You've been voting for these people for how long? And look it. So what do you really got to lose? Give me a chance. And he's shown you. He's shown everybody. So I'm counting on you, man, and everybody else that you know. If you could, when you get to talking to people, bro, tell them exactly what I just told you. Trump 2020? Trump 2020? Can I get that? My brother. My brother. That's what it's about. That's what it's about right there. Trump 2020. He voting Trump. He already registered. He was gonna vote Biden. Didn't know none of the stuff I just told him right now. And everything that I'm telling you, you can look up. If you want, I'll show you right now. I'll get off the phone and I'll show you. That's what it's about, y'all. You want to make a difference, get out there and talk to people. It starts right there in your own hometown, man. Where you from, so people know you. Your credibility ain't in question. I ain't got no motive. This my boy. This is my boy, man. That is my motive. To keep America great, because he already made it great again. Now we're trying to keep it great, all right? So, get out there if you haven't already, man, and talk to people. Talk to your neighbors. Let them know. Bring the facts to them, not your feelings, not your opinion. Present the facts. Say what you know to be a fact so they can verify that, and then they know, yo, he wasn't lying. You know what? I'm going to switch my vote this year. That's what we need to do, and I'm sure you're going to talk to everybody else about it. My brother, I appreciate you. Straight up. I'm going to get in here with my babies, bro. Okay. You have a good day.
All right.
That's what we trying to do out here, y'all. Unite, don't fight, be a street like it's only you can be the change that you want to see in the world. And when you get too stressed out, remember to pray, America. Trump 2020. Woo! Yeah, brother!
Our next guest is Ice Cube. If you know anything about him, and you probably do, you know he started his career rapping in defiance about police presence and the realities of inner city life. And he got political with his songs as well recently during the Trump administration, most recently in 2018. Here's a taste.
Arrest the president. You got the evidence. That is Russian intelligence.
Now we see a shift. Now he wants to work with President Trump. Here's what the president had to say most recently about Black Lives Matter.
The first time I ever heard of Black Lives Matter, I said, that's such a terrible term because it's such a racist term. It's a term that sows division between blacks and whites and everybody else. And it's a very bad term for blacks. But they were very angry. It's a Marxist organization.
With all that going on and how the president continues to speak about there being no systemic inequality, it's no shock that Ice Cube got some heat for deciding to work with the Trump administration. He wants to deal with it. I want to understand it. So should you. So here is Ice Cube on Prime Time. Thank you for taking the opportunity, brother. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. Chris, your lead-ins are a little misleading.
How so?
Well, the Platinum Plan is not my plan. I came up with the contract with Black America, and I didn't run to go work with any campaign. Both campaigns contacted me. Both campaigns wanted to talk to me about the contract with Black America. One campaign said, we love what you have, but let's really dig into it after the election. And one campaign said, we love what you have. Do you mind talking to us about it? And that's what I did. So I didn't run to nobody. And so that was real misleading to me.
Well, I didn't say you ran to anybody. I said that you had taken a pivot.
Well, you said I ran over to the Trump team instead of the Biden team. That's just not true.
Well, but you are working with the Trump team instead of the Biden team, and people are giving you heat for it. What do you say to them?
Well, I'm willing to work with both teams, but I'm just working with whoever is willing to work with me. So the Trump campaign came to me and asked me to explain to them some of the contract with Black America. That's what I did. I'm not playing no more of these games, these political games. We're not part of a team. We have very broad problems, especially the wealth gap in this country when it comes to Black Americans. So I'm going to whoever's in power, and I'm going to speak to them about our problems specifically. I'm not going there talking about minorities. I'm not going there talking about people of color or diversity or none of that stuff. I'm going there for Black Americans, the ones who are the descendants of slaves. And that's what I'm going to talk to anybody who's in power with that. So if anybody got a problem with that, it seems like a personal problem.
Well, here's the problem, and it is very personal, as you know, for a lot of people of color, because they'll say, well, why would you pick Trump when he says there's no such thing as systemic inequality? Say again?
I'm not picking nobody. He's the president.
But why do you think he'd want to do something for the community when he says there's no such thing as systemic inequality?
I don't know what he want to do. I just know what the man said. I know what he said to the country. I've never met Donald Trump. So I don't know what he's going to do. I just know what he said he was going to do. So both of them have a plan. Both of them say they're going to do something. And who knows what's really going to happen after November 3rd. Nobody knows from each side. We're all hoping that candidates keep their campaign promises. So that's just it.
So let's look at it this way. I think that you're right to be skeptical. Let's start with the Democrats, because even though there is a traditional connection between black voters and the Democrats, you could also say you've been let down or forgotten by Democrats in a lot of situations that would have mattered. Then you say, all right, so then what makes one side better than the other? That's where you get in trouble, which is, do you really think that Donald Trump can be trusted as much as you could trust Joe Biden?
I don't think I'm not trusting any of them. I'm just going by action. That's all I'm going by. I'm not going by words. I'm not going by rhetoric, not going by media spin, not going by none of that. You know, I'm not on nobody's team. I'm not on Team Blue, not on Team Red.
So then I have that wrong.
Hold on, I'm an independent person, and I believe that's what Black people need to do, is become independent and we need to get something for our vote. You know, that may not happen, but it's gonna happen.
It's got to happen. It's got to happen. Nothing changes if nothing changes. Look, if I had brought you here to fight with you, you would have known it. What I'm saying is, I think I did get it wrong, and I want to make sure I get it right. So saying you're working with the Trump team is wrong. What you did was, when they asked to talk to you about it, you said yes. If Biden had asked to talk to you about it now, you would have gone to them the same way. It's not about you choosing anything. It's you working with everybody who's got a chance of doing anything.
I'm working with whoever's in power. Yeah, I'll work with both. Whoever's in power, I'm going to work with. So whoever wins, they'll hear from me.
Okay, so I'm glad you
frequently.
came to clear it up. So Ice Cube is not with the Trump campaign. He's just given his ideas, and anybody who wants to do something with him, fine. Do you believe they are doing anything with your ideas?
I believe, they looked at the contract with Black America and they updated their plan, but it's their plan. Now, I have my plan. My plan is broad. It goes beyond the public sector. It goes into the private sector, banks, even the movie industry. So we got to deal with a lot of different, companies, corporations, and even government when it comes to solving this problem. I believe it's a bipartisan problem. I believe it's a bipartisan problem when it comes to the issues, when it comes to blacks in America and what's going on. It's not a Democrat problem. It's not for them to solve. It's not for the Republicans to solve. It's for both of them to solve. They do it when it comes to debt ceiling. They do it when it comes to getting us in wars. They seem to come together when it's something that really affects America. And I don't think nothing affects America more than the situation that Black Americans find ourselves in. This country is coming apart at the seams, and it's not going to come together after January 3rd, no matter who's the president, unless we deal with this wealth gap.
You have the economics. All of it extends from poverty, which is an extension of opportunity, which is an extension of a system that doesn't give equal opportunity, and you see it everywhere. Hiring, education, finance, all of it. So acutely, we've been looking at what happens when policing goes wrong in communities. It doesn't give you concern that the president has handled police violence the way he has in terms of his commitment to work on any of the issues that you think are important?
We've been dealing with police violence in this country from day one. So police violence is just part of our life here. So, the thing is this, once we get some capital, we'll be treated better. This is a capitalistic society.
True.
And if you ain't got no money, you see how people get treated on the streets when they ain't got no money.
Not just money, wealth. Wealth. You got to be able to build up wealth within the community.
Yeah, to put it in greater terms. But, at the bottom line is, dollars bring dignity. And so everybody in America knows that. When you got a little more money, they treat you a little better. So we need to close this wealth gap. You got people, families making $120,000 or worth $120,000, and you got Black families worth $200. It's just an enormous wealth gap that keeps growing. It's not getting smaller. Do the research, and you'll see this is the problem in America. It's because Black people have no capital. We own half of a point when it comes to all the wealth in America. Half of a point. 13.5% people living off half of a point. We cannot survive in America another 100 years living like this.
The issue is real. The problem is properly identified. They do have access to capital of about $500 billion, but it doesn't say that it would be earmarked within the Trump plan for communities of color. But we'll see what you can get done, and I make you this promise, not just because I'm a fan, but the issue matters. As you learn and as you see action and reaction or inaction, you have a place on this show to discuss it. That's a guarantee.
I appreciate it, Chris. Yeah, I'll be back to discuss and let you know what I know, what I find out. But I'm gonna give it to you straight up.
It's the only
I'm not
way I
playing
take it.
side.
It doesn't go well any other way on this show. Ice Cube, I wish you
right.
the best. Stay healthy. Be well.
All right, man. Take it easy.
All right. We'll be right back.
I don't know where he comes from. I don't know where he comes up with these numbers. 100 trillion.
Well, what do you say to Americans who are concerned by that rhetoric?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what to say. I got criminal justice reform done and prison reform and opportunity zones. I took care of black colleges and universities. I don't know what to say. They can say anything. I mean, they can say anything. It makes me sad because I am the least racist person. I can't even see the audience because it's so dark. But I don't care who's in the audience. I'm the least racist person in this room.
He says that we're learning to live with it. People are learning to die with it. You folks home will have an empty chair at the kitchen table this morning. That man or wife going to bed tonight and reaching over to try to touch their, out of habit, where their wife or husband was, is gone. Learning to live with it. Come on. We're dying with it because he has never said, you said it's dangerous. When's the last time? Is it really dangerous still? Are we dangerous? You tell the people it's dangerous now? What should they do about the danger? And you say, I take no responsibility.
I have one final
Would
question.
he close down the oil industry?
It falls.
Or would you close down the oil
By
industry?
the way, I would transition from the oil industry, yes.
Oh,
I would
that's
transition.
a big statement.
It is a big statement.
That's a big
because
statement.
I would stop.
Why would you do that?
Because the oil industry pollutes significantly.
I see.
And here's the deal. But
That's
you
a
can't
big
do that.
statement.
Well, if you let me finish the statement, because it has to be replaced by renewable energy over time. Over time. And I'd stop giving to the oil industry, I'd stop giving them federal subsidies. He won't give federal subsidies to the gas, excuse me, to solar and wind.
Yeah.
Why are we giving it to oil industry?
We actually do give
right.
it to solar and wind.
We
And
have
that's
one
maybe the
final
biggest
question.
statement in terms of business. That's the biggest statement.
Okay.
Because
We have
basically
one
what he's
final
saying
question,
is he is
Mr.
going to
President.
destroy the oil industry. Will you remember that, Texas? Will you remember that, Pennsylvania, Oklahoma?
Vice President.
Why didn't you
I
do it?
am
You were
not-
vice president. You keep talking about all these things you're going to do and you're going to do this. But you were there just a short time ago and you guys did nothing.
We did.
You know, Joe, I ran because of you. I ran because of Barack Obama, because you did a poor job. If I thought you did a good job, I would have never run.
First and foremost, I want to give all the praise and glory to God. Thank you for hearing me. But President Trump, I just want to thank you for giving me a second chance and believing in me and reading my petition. I'm just so thankful. It's just 20 years ago, I fought at the Trump Casino, and now you signed to give me clemency. First, I didn't know it was real until I was able to bring and touch this little guy right here. I left him when he was 2 years old, President Trump. You reunited me back to my family. I lost my mother and my father, but I got him. And this is what I live for. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart, all praise and glory go to God. Thank you. Thank you, the whole Trump administration, because you guys read it. All the people that was a part of helping me, the advocates from Can Do to Miss Johnson to Weldon, Angelos, Amy, Brittany, everybody. Those people I never touched. I never saw a day in my life. You know what I mean? And they fought for me and they reunited me back with my family. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you.
The Biden family is one of the most corrupt families in American political history. And also Joe Biden, who is connected to the BCCI scandal in the 1970s, including the SNL scandal with Charles Keating, okay, along with Michael Milken, connected to the Lincoln Savings and Loan conspiracy, including John Sellout McCain, the Bush family, and John Kerry, who is connected to the late mobster, okay? And this is going to blow your mind, to the late mobster, okay, Whitey Bulger. They're all complicit in these House of Cards, the coming fall of the Biden family. All right, welcome back to the Alex Jones Show with your guest host and moderator today, Bishop Larry Gators. We are so very honored to be on America's #1 television and radio show right now in the 21st century, and that is the Alex Jones Show. I'm so very honored to be back with you guys. My name is Bishop Larry Gators. I am the host and the moderator of the nationally and internationally syndicated radio show Global Spiritual Revolution Radio through the WOR 710 AM network, the Voice of New York. We can be heard around the world in approximately 200 countries, speaking to around between 150 million to 200 million people around the world through the iHeartRadio network and the iHeart Media Group. Now, I'm so very excited to be unpacking this powerful topic today concerning the House of Cards, the coming fall of the Biden crime family. Again, the House of Cards concerning the coming fall of the Biden crime family. Now, up until this week, I thought Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, was the most corrupt family duo in American history, but they are not. It is the Biden family. Now, it speaks of a 16th century mathematician by the name of Dr. Johannes Kepler, who once said concerning the Kepler conjecture philosophy that there is a global pattern of history that has been dispatterned by a global pattern of corruption. Again, there is a global pattern of history that has been dispatterned or dysfunction that we call the global dysfunctionality of a life pattern because of corruption. We call this chaos theory. And so we're going to examine the bloodline of the Joe Biden family, which goes back as early as the 1600s, that the Biden bloodline in connection to the Robinette bloodline were full of racist slave owners. This is going to blow your mind today concerning the House of Cards, the coming fall of the Biden crime family. Now, Joseph Robinette Biden was born in 1942, okay? His generations, going back to 7 and 8 generations, were brutal slave owners out of the United Kingdom, out of England and out of Scotland, who later immigrated to the United States during the early part of the 1800s to the states of Pennsylvania, Delaware, and Maryland. Now, Senator Biden, well, Vice President Biden, is very close to a man by the name of Robert Allen Stanford. Now, Robert Allen Stanford was the creator of the Stanford Capital Management firm. This Robert Allen Stanford is now serving a 110-year sentence, which he was convicted going back to 8 years ago, to the year 2012, because of a massive global Ponzi scheme, okay, where he had defrauded between 7 to 8 billion people, not just here in the United States, but around the world. Now, Joe Biden, including Hunter Biden and the late Beau Biden, who had died in 2015 of a brain tumor, sat on the board of the Stanford Private Equity Fund. Now, there was a famous Hollywood athlete who recently died early this year on the 26th of January in 2020. A young man by the name of Kobe Bean Bryant was defrauded out of $1.7 million by the Robert Allen Stanford Equity Fund. But the Bidens sat on that board up until a year ago, okay? And now this individual, Robert Allen Stanford, is serving a massive 110-year prison sentence because of a massive Ponzi scheme in which Beau Biden, the late Beau Biden, was serving as senior counsel up until the year of 2015, right before his death. But at the same time, Beau Biden, who was serving as the lead counsel for the Stanford Equity Fund, was also the Attorney General for the state of Delaware. This is a major conflict of interest. So then, to understand the corrupt bloodline, natural and political, of the Joe Biden family, we have to look at this from a spiritual paradigm and then a political paradigm. And so Robert A. Stanford, who was also a member of the Council on Foreign Relations, the Trilateral Commission, the Club of Rome, the Committee of 300, the Hidden Hand, was a close confidant of one Joe Biden, including James Biden, the younger brother of Joe Sleepy, Creeping, Sniffing Biden, who cannot remember his left foot from his right toe, another topic for another day. So then Joe Biden, James Biden, the late Beau Biden, and the crackhead Hunter Biden sat on the executive board of this Stanford private equity fund, okay, going up until the year 2014, even though 2 years prior, Robert Allen Stanford went to prison. And so then the entire Biden bloodline is connected to national and international global political corruption, as we're just kind of laying this foundation concerning the crime family of one Joseph Robinette Biden. Now, it's interesting that Joe Biden is not only connected to Robert Allen on Stanford, but Joe Biden is connected to a equity fund by the name of the Paradigm Global Advisory Group. Now, in 1989, a South Korean man by the name of James Park, the son-in-law of the billionaire Sung Young Moon, of the cult of the unification movement that was created going back in 1954. Now, as a side note, James Park, who had designed and created the Paradigm Global Advisory Group, which later was bought out by Joe Biden and the Biden family in 2006. So James Park, Sung Young Moon, was closely related financially and tied to Chinese intelligence, the Ministry of State Security, which is the Chinese equivalent of the American CIA, including South Korean intelligence, connected to the National Intelligence Service. These are the people and the individuals that Joe Sleepy Creeping Biden in his crackhead pipe of a son, Hunter Biden, are connected to. Now, when we come back from our 2 to 3 minute break concerning part two of the downfall, the coming downfall of one of the most corrupt families in American political history, it is going to blow your mind. We see you here in the next 2 to 3 minutes here with your host, Bishop Larry Gator. Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show, the #1 radio and television show in America and around the world. This is your guest host back with you, Bishop Larry Gators, during this fourth hour it's such a great honor to be back with Brother Alex, who is my mentor, and I thank God for him and for his powerful staff there at InfoWars. You guys are literally transforming and transliterating the world. All right, the House of Cards, the coming fall of the Biden crime family. I want to get into the late son of Joe Biden, Beau Biden. Now, Beau Biden at the time, going back during the year of 2008, 2009, and 2011, Beau Biden had created the Beau Biden Foundation for the Protection of Children. Now, at the time in 2011, when his father was vice president of these United States for America, Joe Biden, Beau Biden, including Hunter Biden and Barack Obama, visited Penn State University. Now, one may say, what does this have to do with the House of Cards, the coming fall of the Biden crime family? Glad you asked. Because Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, okay, and Hunter Biden and Beau Biden visited Penn State University. a month before the outbreak of the Jerry Sandusky conspiracy. Now, I'm not trying to put two and two together, but my job here today is to present the facts, and it's up to you, the American people, to come up with the proper conclusions. As we're talking about this house of cards, the coming fall of the Biden crime family. So in 2011, okay, going back to 2011, October 2011, a month before the Jerry Sandusky case went live. Now, Jerry Sandusky was the former assistant football coach under Joe Paterno, who had died, they say of cancer in 2012. So Barack Obama, Joe Biden, Bo Biden, okay, and Hunter Biden visited Penn State University, not only met Joe Paterno, but met Jerry Sandusky. Now, Jerry Sandusky ran a foundation called the Extra Mile, okay, or the Mile 2 Foundation. The Extra Mile or the Mile 2 Foundation had many names going back to 2008. Many of these individuals were connected to the life, the financial and the political life of one Joseph Robinette Biden, concerning the Biden's connection to Robert Allen Stanford in the Stanford Financial Equity Fund, including the Paradigm Financial Equity Group, and including the connection to the Moonies out of South Korea, okay, to James Park. Wait a minute now. So Jerry Sandusky, who is serving a 30 to 60 year prison term, was connected to Joe Biden and connected to the Robert Allen Stanford Equity Fund, because many executives who sat on the Jerry Sandusky Foundation, the Extra Mile Foundation, also sat on the board of Burisma, sat on the board, okay, of Rosemont Seneca, sat on the board, okay, of the Bahia Harvest International Group out of China. Wait a minute now. What does Jerry Sandusky and his former executive foundation called the Extra Mile Foundation have anything to do with Joe Biden? Because when Jerry Sandusky was exposed, Joe Biden, under the direction of Barack Hussein with 1,000 different aliases Obama, was mum concerning both Joe Paterno and Jerry Sandusky, okay? And so the Bo Biden Foundation, okay, the Foundation for the Protection of Children, had on its executive board Hunter Biden. Now, when you look at the logo there of the Bo Foundation, the Bo Biden Foundation, which they have a P.O. box, 7819. Now, wait a minute. Now, I'm confused now. If this foundation is the conduit for millions of dollars, why is Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, and the Biden family, why don't they have a regular address? It is a shell company for the conduit of millions of dollars, okay, for child pedophilia and child sacrifice. Now, somebody said, well, Bishop, you have lost your mind. I don't think so, because this Joe Biden bloodline that goes back 7 to 8 generations of slave owners out of Scotland, out of England, migrating to Delaware and Maryland during the early part of the 1800s, who were also members of the Odd Fellows Secret Society, for another topic for another day. Now, the EIN number, the employer identification number for the Bo Biden Foundation is 47-450-7397, which they specialize in for the prevention of child abuse and sexual abuse. But yet at the same time, they have a pervert on their executive board, this crackhead, Hunter Biden. Now, Hunter Biden is, exposed now because of this laptop, okay, in connection not just to money laundering, okay, in connection to Burisma out of Kyiv in the Ukraine, and also being connected to Chinese intelligence. But Hunter Biden, excellent picture there, guys. Hunter Biden, along with his father, were complicit in nationalizing the private bank out of Kyiv in the Ukraine. Now, when we're talking about the coming fall of the crime family called the Biden crime family, let's look again at the life of Jerry Sandusky in connection to Joe Biden, whom Joe Biden met Jerry Sandusky a month before the Jerry Sandusky conspiracy was exposed. Now, in connection of Biden money to a man by the name going back to 1972. Now, what I'm about to ready to reveal to you is going to absolutely blow your minds as we're talking about the coming fall of the Biden crime family. Now, as we go back to 1972, there was a Pakistani billionaire, a financier, by the name of Aga Hassan Abidi, capital Aghahasan Hassan Abidi, capital Abedi. He created in 1972 one of the most corrupt banks in world history, okay? The BCCI Bank, okay? The private bank that is connected to Chinese intelligence, to the Mossad, excellent link there, ladies and gentlemen, to the Mossad, to the CIA, to the KGB, and Pakistani intelligence. So the Bank of Credit and Commerce International, with Hassan Abidi, personally financed the political career of Joseph Biden in 1972, okay? Which was the same year that his wife, Nelia Hunter Biden, was involved in a horrific car crash, all right, that also had killed their daughter, Naomi. Now, when we come back in the third segment, we're going to connect these political ley lines concerning the House of Cards and the coming fall of the Biden crime family. Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show, the #1 radio and television show in America and around the world, with your host and moderator, Bishop Larry Gators. We're talking about the coming fall of the Joe Biden crime family. House of Cards, the coming fall of the Biden crime family. Now, we left off with this corrupt bank that I want to talk about for the next 2 to 3 minutes. This BCCI Bank. Now, remember the 2009 movie with Clive Owen entitled "The International" was based upon this particular bank, which is now defunct, the Bank of Credit and Commercial International, or International, which was a creature of the Central Intelligence Agency. So then Joe Biden is a creature of the CIA. Now, Joe Biden, his connection with the BCCI Bank out of Karachi, okay, in Pakistan, which its international headquarters at the time was in the nation called Luxembourg, okay, which also financed later the SNL scandal that was connected to the Clintons, to Jimmy Carter, to John McCain, who was a traitor, including one Joseph Biden. And so then now that brings us to the Burisma Holdings Group out of Kyiv in the Ukraine. Now, there is a man by the name of Mykola Slavetsky. Now, Mykola Slavetsky is connected to the bloodline out of Latvia, going back to the year 1705, to the Kirchner family. Now, I'm not saying that the term Kirchner concerning the son-in-law of our president is connected to this, and he is not. I'm just saying that the bloodline of one Mykola Slavetsky goes back to 1705 to out of Latvia, which their original name was the Kirchner family, capital K-U-S-H-N-I-R, which later was changed to N-E-R during the early part of the 1800s. So Mykola Slavetsky, excellent picture there, ladies and gentlemen, concerning Burisma Bank. Now, Burisma Bank is the epicenter of this corruption surrounding one Joseph Biden because he wanted the private bank that was created by Mykola Slavetsky to be nationalized in 2016. Why? Because Joe Biden wanted to hide his complicit connection into money laundering, which is also on the laptop on one crackhead, Hunter Biden. Another topic for another day. Now, the Biden family, their money is closely connected to Chinese intelligence, okay? To a man by the name of Chen Wing-Gi, okay? Capital W-E-N-Q-I-N-G. So Chen Wing-Gi, ladies and gentlemen, as we're talking about laying this foundation concerning the House of Cards, the coming fall of the Biden crime family and syndicate. So the Bank of China, the Agricultural Bank of China, the China Construction Bank, and the Industrial and Commercial Bank of China all have not just Chinese intelligence money, but also Mossad money and Pakistani intelligence money, including money through the Biden family. I told you at the very beginning of today's broadcast that Joe Biden and his family is the greatest, is the worst corrupt family in American political history. So Joe Biden's connection to Chinese intelligence, to the Ministry of State Security, which is the Chinese equivalent of the American CIA, to Chen Wing-Gi, who is the head of the Ministry of State Security, okay? So the Ministry of State Security in the Biden family, with Hunter Biden owning 10% of a Chinese equity group out of Shanghai, China, called the Bahia Harvest Group. Now, in connection to the Paradigm Global Advisory Group, and the connection to the Rosemont Seneca Group, which was created by Christopher Heinz, the stepson of one John Kerry, okay? So Christopher Heinz, Devin Archer, and Hunter Biden had created the Rosemont Seneca equity firm in 2009, which is also connected to Ukrainian uranium and to the Russian uranium deal, which this Jezebel, okay, Hillary Clinton and Barack Hussein Obama, or Barry Soetoro, gave away, sold 20% of American uranium, which thereby President Putin kicked back a check for $145 million to who? To the Clinton Foundation and to the Clinton Global Initiative. You're dealing with devils as we're talking about this house of cards, the coming fall of the Biden crime family. Now, in our conclusion, Joe Biden's connection to a major corporation out of China entitled the China Petroleum and Chemical Corporation that's ran, you got it, by Chinese intelligence, by the Ministry of State Security, which is the Chinese equivalent of the American CIA. That's also is connected to the Paradigm Global Advisory Group, connected to the Rosemont Seneca Partners Group, which is ran by the Biden family, who are then connected to a man by the name of Tom Skodol, capital S-C-O-T-T-O. Well, he's a fixer, okay? Tom Skodol was the former president of New York's Detectives Endowment Association Union that's connected to the old Tammany Hall, okay? Going back to 2002. So Tom Skodol is the unindicted, notice these legal terms, the unindicted co-conspirator by federal prosecutors, okay, in connection to organized crime. So Tom Skoda, his connection to Joe Biden, these two gentlemen are connected to the Lucchese family and the Gambino family here in New York City. But yet, Joe Biden wants us to elect him to be the president of the United States. It's not going to happen. Now, in my conclusion, in 2004, Joe Biden sat on the board of the Bernard L. Madoff Investment Securities Group. Wait a minute now. The same Bernie Madoff, whose real name goes back to the 1600s, out of Latvia, okay, and later Poland, the Mio Dalniki family, capital Miodowniki, which that bloodline is related to the Robinette family, into which the bloodline of Joe Biden married into during the mid 1800s. These are corrupt devils, okay, concerning the House of Cards, the coming fall of the this crime family, this crime syndicate called the Biden family. Now, in my conclusion, so then the Biden they're also connected to a mobster by the name of Anthony V. Lotito, capital Lotito. He's connected to the Gambino crime family, to the Bonanno crime family, and to the Lucchese family. He runs the J.P. Lotito and Company here in New York City, whereby he co-created, along with James Biden, the younger brother of Joe Biden, the Globex Financial Advisory Group, and the Lion Hall Group, which is now owned by James Biden, who also owns the AmeriCorps International Securities Group, which is a shell company for foreign money. Okay. Now, in my conclusion here, we have to say that the Biden family is one of the most corrupt families in American political history. And also Joe Biden, who is connected to the BCCI scandal in the 1970s, including the SNL scandal with Charles Keating, okay, along with Michael Milken, connected to the Lincoln Savings and Loan conspiracy, including John Sellout McCain, the Bush family, and John Kerry, who is connected to the late mobster, okay, and this is going to blow your mind, to the late mobster, okay, Whitey Bulger. They're all complicit in these House of Cards, the coming fall of the Biden family. And I thank you. Have a wonderful day.